Hey, welcome back to the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. Today we have Cheetah. This is a 1989 film from Disney. It's an hour and 24 minutes long, and it tells the story of two Pasadena kids from California, Southern California, who end up joining their parents in Kenya, who are, I guess, they're scientists. One's a scientist, maybe the other one's a teacher. I'm not really sure, but they're over there doing stuff, and the kids decide. Well, they decide to bring the kids over to join them. It's Ted and Susan, played by Keith Coogan and Lucy Deakins. You'll probably know Keith Coogan. Well, I know Keith Coogan through Adventures in Babysitting, the original one, the one with the swear word that Disney Plus has bleeped out. Well, changed. Let's just say that he played one of the boys in that movie. But he is Ted here, and his brother and sister, teenagers. They are brought over to Kenya. He's excited to see all the exotic animals and everything else. His sister, a little bit more reserved on that front. They're there, I guess. Maybe it's summer break. I'm not really sure why they decided that they're going to be there. But they're going to be there for like 6 months, and along the way, they start adventuring out and discovering little parts of Africa. They find a tribe, and they find a little boy, say Morogo, yeah. But he's played by Colin Mathupi, yeah. His name's Colin, but Morogo is the tribal boy in that area, and it's two different worlds, but they get along really quickly, and he shows them a little bit about their culture and things that go on. Well, he's not really supposed to mix with the American kids, really. He doesn't really tell his parents that much. They know, but they kind of don't talk about it, I guess. But he hangs out with them a lot. They spend months together, and during that time, they find a baby cheetah, just a little fuzzy little cheetah, and it looks like it's been abandoned. Well, no, not really abandoned, but poachers had gotten hold of her family and killed them and took them off. We don't see that happen. We don't know who did that. There are clues left behind, but yeah, this little kitten, cub, whatever you want to call it, I'm not sure what the cheetah cub, is left behind, and they bring it home to their parents. And the parents are like, we can't keep this. This is a wild animal, and you don't want to do that. And honestly, there's one bit of dialogue that you just hear them go, well, we guess we're keeping her, and then they just totally cave and give in, and they raise this cheetah over the course of many months, and it grows up to be really big, but it's very domesticated. It answers to a whistle that they have, it wanders off, you just have to blow the whistle, the cheetah comes back. It's called, they named the cheetah Duma, and Duma is super domesticated. But I'm going to tell you the whole gist of things, because honestly, it takes a while. The first half of the film is just them exploring a little bit, and then getting to know Duma, and you get to see what Duma is all about. Then about halfway through, they need to leave and go back to LA, Pasadena, and they're gonna go back to their normal life of school and hanging out at the Galleria in 1989. It's the 80s, so it's height of mall culture at that point, and they're supposed to go back, but they, just before they leave, they wonder what happened to Duma. Did Duma run off? Nope, Duma was taken by poachers. Well, by a unscrupulous store manager who, he decides to make a deal with the local poacher to capture the animal and race him against greyhounds at a local, well, not very local, because it takes the kids half the movie to travel a very long way on foot, trying some of the fruits of the earth, let's just say, from plants dug up that have water in them and termites and everything else. They just get to, the Morogo shows them what they need to do to survive, and they need to get to, I think it's just this little place where they have a racetrack. And their parents, little do they know that the kids are still in Africa. The kids were supposed to be on a plane back to California, but yeah, they ditched that in order to save their cat, which they were sure was stolen. And they're right. So I basically told you the entire gist of the entire thing, but it's not like you can't see any of this coming from the start, because you get a little kitten, cheetah, cub, whatever, you're going to have to get rid of it at some point, especially if you go back to America. So it's I think it's supposed to be a bit more emotionally traumatic when they're separated one time and then separated again. At some point, the kids are going to have to go back, and this time they get at the end they kind of get a choice to say goodbye. And even though somehow they realize that, oh, now she can handle herself in the wild and she's just not going to immediately die when she's faced with, any kind of conflict, or she'll be able to feed herself, not just eat out of a bowl of cheetah chow, or, whatever Chester Cheetah eats. I guess that's, Cheetos. So, yeah, it's meant to pull at our heartstrings, but after we had watched Clouds yesterday, I'm pretty sure nothing's really going to match up to that emotionally. I'm going to tell you right off the bat, the cheetah does not die, so there's no cheetah deaths, old Yeller scene or anything else, but it's, what this is it's like a travel log. It's a poster. They intercut a lot of sort of documentary footage of all the animals and creatures that live throughout Kenya and Africa and everything else, and intercut it with actual story. And you get to see them going, oh, elephants, look out, we got to better run because the elephants are coming after us. Or let's mess with the rhinos, trying to put a rock on a sleeping rhino, and oh no, it's waking up, and it's not waking up. It's just footage of a rhino waking up, and he's like, "Oh, I gotta get out of here!" And then he runs up a hill. It's a lot of silliness. And at one point, of course, the culture experience flips when they have to get into Nairobi at some point, I believe, which is very metropolitan, much more bigger city. It's not so rural, and Morogo gets very confused by all the cars and the vehicles and everything else, and the kids are the ones who can help him navigate that crazy world that they are used to. So all of it's about a touching story about a bunch of American kids who raise a cheetah and learn about another culture. And there's no warning before this one that says, you know what, we've really done these people dirty and showed them all to be very offensive. Somebody does do a fake Indian accent at one point because the shopkeeper is Indian, but it's for the most part it's fairly inoffensive, and it's just fairly offensive in every way. It's not very interesting. So it's got 1989 production values. It's got a fairly predictable standard story. So it's not like something I would say, yeah, you gotta watch this. You gotta make sure you see this. I mean, if you like cheetahs, sure. If you like Keith Coogan and Lucy Deakins, sure. Want to make sure you see every 80s Disney movie? Sure. You want to see this? One thing about this is that predates The Lion King is the fact that there's a song in this in the middle or early on when the kids, Morogo takes them to a local village, and also over the credits at the end, a song that uses the term Hakuna Matata. I don't know if the song is called Hakuna Matata, but it's very much, no worries, no problem. It's predominantly heard in this. It's not the same song that was used in The Lion King, but it seems to be a fairly common term. This is based on a book by Alan Kalu called The Cheetahs. So hopefully they did it. This movie did your book justice, Alan. If not, well, so yeah, maybe the song is called Hakuna Matata. I'm just seeing that here. Okay, it's heard. And by the way, when they have this in this village, a bunch of people playing this song with the Hakuna Matata in it, they could have just kept it shooting them performing it, but then I think they went in and had it recorded in a studio, because you can tell it has a whole produced sound to it, and it was unnecessary. It would have been so much cooler to hear the actual people performing it. Maybe it just didn't sound good back then. Like, they couldn't record it properly in that building. Because I have a feeling a lot of this was not done on sets. It was actually done in Africa. But, come on. It would have been so much neater to hear the actual... I mean, maybe it was the same people did it, in the village as in the recording studio, but the recording studio version kind of had the soul sucked out of it, I think. Anyway, that's Cheetah. It's all right, but you're gonna forget it soon after, unless it's Hakuna Matata song sticks in your head. I don't know. Let's pick tomorrow's episode.
502.
We're just jumping back and forth. 502. Oh, overshot it. Okay. We're in the thes. We just missed 2 classics pseudo underrated classics. We missed The Black Cauldron and The Black Hole. But we're going to watch The Big Year. I'm not sure what that is. Sounds familiar. Back when Big was on Disney Plus, which I don't think it is right now anymore. It might come back at some point. But I would always see The Big Year when I would type in something BI. So, all right. So, The Big Year is up next tomorrow on the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. I'll see you back here tomorrow with that.